Mic check, 1 2 1 2 1 2. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to what is this called? Welcome to hashtag TNT JoeFi, tech news that Jerome Ortega finds interesting. Tech news that Jerome Ortega finds interesting. I am your host, Jerome Ortega. Today is Monday, November 9th. Happy Monday. It's very nice outside here in Chicago. It's like 75 degrees out, and I'm about to go do this stream and then go outside and spend some time outside because it's not going to be 70s for much longer. I think tomorrow it's going to rain, and then after that we're back into like the 40s or 50s. So just like the last hurrah for summer that we have here. But yeah, also YouTube has decided to demonetize like all my streams. I can't even contest it anymore. They're just like, nope, this is being demonetized. That's it. Very annoying. I don't know what to do about it. Whatever. I'll figure something out. Lentils. Hey, what's going on, Lentils? I like your avatar. I like your screen name, Lentils. None of that makes sense. They don't go together. William Maya, hey, what's going on, William? How are you? Jay Kelly, what's up? What's up, Jay Kelly? How you doing, man? Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you. Alan Stevenson, what up, Jerome? What up, Alan? How you doing, man? Welcome, guys. Welcome. How was your weekend, everybody? Good? Hopefully, maybe. Zico Day, hey, bro. What up, bro? What's going on, Zico? Team Varai, hey, Jerome and Stream Fam, dropping by while picking my wife up from work. Have a safe, well, you're not driving, right? You're walking by. Have a safe trip regardless. How's it going, Team Varai? Welcome. Nice to see you. Nijwa? How do I say that? Nijwa Fontes? Hey, man, no disrespect, but how can anyone even argue with a straight face that the iPhone 12 Pro Max is the phone of the year? It is an incredibly irritative and boring update. When I talk about phone of the year, I'm talking about the camera. Really, that's what it comes down to me. So no disrespect. I mean, people have different thoughts on phones and whatever, but for 2019, my phone of the year was the iPhone 11 Pro. Before that, it was every Pixel that was out there. That was my favorite phone. And the reason 2019 had such a great year for Apple was because they just had everything solid on their phone. The Pixel 4 could not compete back then. Right now, my contender for the phone of the year for 2020 is the Pixel 4a. And it's still not the best of the best, but I don't know. I mean, I think other than the only thing I would call boring about an iPhone is its OS. Its OS for me is incredibly boring. I don't deny that in the slightest, but it's still a solid product with great support and great performance and a great camera. And I didn't even realize that people had the 12 Pro Max, and I haven't watched any of these videos, so I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, Nijwa, or however you pronounce your name, welcome to the stream. Nice to see you. Sean, good afternoon, Jerome. What's going on, Sean? How are you, man? Welcome. The Woo, Romy Rome. Woo, 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 woo. I can't do it. What's going on, the Woo? Welcome. Jay Kelly, probably because it's the best phone of this year. So there's... I mean, it's different for everyone, right? I think we all have different priorities. I put that up there because maybe it is. Maybe the camera's going to be so great that it's going to like stand out from the rest. I wouldn't call that boring. I would call that like, I want a good camera on my phone. That's what I look forward to. Europe G. Hello from Germany. Hello, Europe G from Germany. Chicago here, Illinois. Welcome, Europe G. Nice to see you. Sean says Google is weak AF for that. Very weak. Alir Kami, how's it going? Sup, Roman, everyone? What's going on, Alir? How are you? How are you? Nice to see you. Had a great weekend. Now I'm ready for the week. Me too. Kind of. Me too. Doing all right. Thanks. Hope you're all right. I'm good. I'm good, Team Variety. Thanks for asking. I appreciate it. Weekend was all right. We have a hurricane coming our way in Central Florida. Please be safe. I'm waiting to hear about battery life on the 12 Pro Max. I love my 11 Pro, but it's the best size. I'm afraid to go big. Same here. I mean, I have the 12 Pro right here, and I'm sending that back for the 12 Pro Max. I don't really want a big phone, but I want to test out the camera. So we'll see how that goes. Baron of Gray Matter, what's going on? Everything I've seen on the camera of the Pro Max is that there is almost no difference between the Pro and Pro Max. Really? Really? Okay, we'll go through it. We'll go through it. Yeah, Sean, I have no idea, man. I don't know what they're doing. Whatever, it's fine. I'm rocking the 4A, and it's the phone of the year for sure. So today, actually, instead of going over Pro Max videos, I had done some camera testing on the 4A and the Pixel 5, and I wanted to go over those today, but today's 12 Pro Max day, so we're going to go over that. The lens flares are still... Stop spoiling it for me, Ed. I want to watch these videos. You may need to watch MQQQQ review. I will. I actually have that on queue because I don't know any other YouTubers. Battery life on the 12 Pro Max looking good. That's good to hear. Some reviewers say there is, some say there isn't. Really interesting. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead. Let's get started. I wanna start going through these videos. This first one. Wait, what is this one? Yeah, this first one is from Lou, right? That's his name. Unbox Therapy. We're not going to watch all of these, like, I think from beginning to end. We're just going to like go through it, share some thoughts. I haven't seen any of this. So
4, 3, control room. Are we live? The Max is in the house. Of course, I'm talking about the iPhone 12 Pro Max. For example, the regular iPhone 12 Pro. I just want to see what's inside it. I'm sorry. What you get by scaling the and the Mini come at a later date, presumably something to do with volume. The other thing is this is just going to be pricey. That's the most expensive of all the iPhone 12.
It's $100 more.
Yes, starting price $1,099 USD. Depending on, and I did an unboxing video. And by the way, we do have the full coverage.
Wait, so did he open it already? Is that what it is?
Every single model. That's correct.
Yeah.
Of course.
So I bought the graphite
same
one
design as
instead of the gold one because I don't
model,
like,
and I did an unboxing video of every single color of iPhone 12 and 12 Pro. So you should go check that out if you want to see color comparisons. But what you get with the Pro part of the lineup is this stainless steel frame around the outside.
We know
obviously.
all of this already.
because they are not. Oh yes, you can absolutely tell a difference. So there is your regular Pro, and look at the scale difference.
I wonder how
on
big
the Pro
that
Max.
Pro Max is going to be compared to my
unit
P40
is
Pro Plus.
substantially increased in scale. It's not just that the phone got bigger, but each camera module got bigger. All right, so also,
so real quick, just an FYI, like I'm not, it's not that I haven't used big phones. I mean, this is the P40 Pro Plus next to my 12 Pro. So this is a bigger phone for sure. And I'm wondering how big the 12 Pro Max is going to be against it.
Also inside the package, we have
so it's the same shit, right? That's in here. There's nothing different.
There's no power brick included. You will need to bring your own power brick to the party. I, of course, have the bigger battery. I mean, the battery difference is quite substantial. You've got just over 3,600 milliamp hours over here on the Max model. And on the smaller unit, you're around 2,800 milliamp hours. Now, granted,
okay,
you've obviously got a different screen size to power up, so it's not a one-to-one type of thing, but you could, I mean, it's fairly safe to say that the Max model is going to be the one you want for
but I mean, even $100 more, it's still $1,100.
So the device is set
phone.
up, and honestly, the biggest difference, well, it has differences. There's some complicated camera stuff.
I can see that,
different
Brian,
on the Pro Max model compared to the Pro. But the scale of it is the main thing. I think it's a big reason people are going to make a decision between these two.
Yeah, it's 75
from
here,
my
Brian.
hand, which
That's
is
why
probably
I need
an
to get out of
average
here
hand size. The regular Pro model, I can reach pretty much every aspect of it.
Pretty much it's a big ass phone,
and then
correct?
On the Pro Max, the telephoto is an f2.2. So it's an interesting decision. Is it a superior lens, even though it has a smaller aperture? Does it have something to do with the sensor shift technology? Give you more digital zoom. Why? I don't know. Is it a superior?
So he takes
one
shots, but does he compare or no?
And 2.5.
Oh, it's 2.5 now.
Wow. All right. So that zoom lens, I mean, that is some tremendous detail right there. I'm happy with that 2.5. The display playing a role in this analysis. Oh my God. I mean, it's, for me,
I feel like this is such a weird review.
This is the first time. I'm so curious because it's the first time that Apple has had
what's going on, Outweight? Nice to see
significant difference, or any difference you could write on a spec sheet.
What up, Damon?
Between the two Pro models, between their high-end models. It was
it
was scaled for so long. So all we would have to say is, oh, yep, it's the bigger phone.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't even want the bigger phone, but you're sitting there saying for $100 extra bucks, I could have a better performing camera.
Thank you, Jay Kelly. I'll have to check that out. I'll have to check
and therefore, now, if you're serious about
William,
photography
I
or
agree.
video,
it doesn't even feel like
on your iPhone, you kind of have.
Yeah. So let's just go ahead and kind of move. What up, Leo? Bunch of fruits. What's going on, man? Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you. Yeah, we're not going to go through. I just put that as, that's why I put it as the very first one, because I knew he was just going to unbox it. And I know he doesn't have, I don't know. I mean, I don't watch a lot of Unbox Therapy. I think he's more of like, I think it's more entertainment than like real technical prowess. I'm not trying to talk shit either. I'm just saying, like, I think his style is a little different, but, yeah. Ed is not giving this up. It's the same goddamn phone. All right. Let me go and let's move on to the next video here. Leo, what's going on, by the way? Welcome. Nice to see you, Android Stud. Android Stud in the house. He's the party people guy, guys. All right. I make fun of my homie that posts Unbox Theory. I would too. Ernie, what's going on? Hey, Jerome in chat. I don't think there's going to be a significant enough difference in the cameras between the 12 Pro and the 12 Pro Max. I'm disappointed hearing all of this, but yeah. Earlier, and this is why I don't F with, no, I don't blame you. It's why I don't watch them. I don't watch them either. And that's why, like, I make these videos or streams, because I'm just like, I might as well just share my experience. I might have like some expertise behind what I've done, but I can just share like what I've learned from what I've been doing. If you have to pixel peep, there isn't much difference in quality to the average eye. Here's, why did I get all blurry? Hello. Kram Sharon. Hey, how's it going, man? That's also very true. In the same respect, when it comes to phones this expensive and you can't see the difference between this and like a Pixel 4a at $350, it's kind of like, I don't know. For me, I will pixel peep just because I like to see the differences. That's more of a curiosity thing than anything else. But I totally agree with you. Watch MQQQQQQQQQ. Yeah, that's what I got next. Let's go and watch this. All right. Let's go ahead and get into this. Why is my stream not? Oh, there we go. All right. I'm also not going to watch this entire thing. Just an FYI. Most likely not. Oh, that's clever. That's clever. I like that intro. That was good.
Hey, what's up? MKBHD here. All right, iPhone 12 Pro Max, the big boy. So if you've seen the reviews of iPhone 12 and iPhone 12 Pro,
I like that he can hold that 12 Pro Max and it seems normal in his hands because he just, right, isn't this guy like 18 feet tall? When I get my 12 Pro Max, it's going to look tiny on me for sure.
you basically already know everything you need to know about the new generation of iPhones. So now we have iPhone 12 mini and iPhone 12 Pro Max dropping at the same time, opposite ends of the spectrum. So yes, I am dropping 2 videos at the same time. This one is all about the Pro Max, and I'll link below the video about the
Wait
mini
a minute.
if you want to check that out too. So the Pro Max,
how did he get the mini and Unbox Therapy didn't? Interesting.
Is the everything phone. It's the biggest. It's the most Apple has to offer. Fun fact, even the sticker in the Pro Max box is the biggest of any iPhone box. But also now,
it comes with a bigger sticker?
Past, iPhones have all just typically been the same thing across the board, but different sizes. Maybe an extra camera in the Pro. This year, there's an entirely new, different special camera system in just the Pro Max. That's not in any of the other new iPhones. So naturally, this was the focus of my testing. That's a pun. So I think all the other benefits of a bigger iPhone sort of speak for themselves, right? The display is a slightly higher resolution, and it's of course now a 6.7 inch.
I just want to get into the camera
instead of the 6.5 inch from last year's Max. So phones. And yes, it does last noticeably longer. First of all, it has an incredible standby time.
Is what he's saying.
And I've typically ended days with it around 25% with 6, maybe 7 hours of screen on time sometimes.
Odd way.
So if you're looking for the iPhone with the best battery,
that's rupees, right? 40 rupee super chat. Thank you. Odd way. Thank you so much. Don't come here that often, but keep up the good work.
And also the biggest iPhone does technically also get the biggest speaker.
Thank you, man. Thank you for the support. Thank you for helping offset costs. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, I'm like talking in the way.
But honestly, it's not a noticeably louder speaker at all. Really, I just found it has slightly bassier sound at the highest volumes. That's about it. And the biggest iPhone also
so better speakers a little bit
viewing area.
I mean, the speakers are already really good.
It's the same size notch on a bigger screen. The notch kind of feels maybe a tiny bit smaller, even though it is still comically big compared to other phones.
But in this look, I mean, this thing looks humongous compared to is this the 12 Pro or is this the mini? Is this the mini? Or is this thing is humongous compared to
This is at least a no-brainer of a choice of an iPhone if people want to watch videos, do a lot of typing, a lot of texting.
Oh my God. Have you guys been I just started watching Among Us videos. Among Us is so I've been obsessed. This entire weekend I've been watching Among Us videos, gameplay videos. All right, moving on.
A lot of photo editing, big screen stuff like that. If you're not used to the size of this bigger iPhone, it's gonna feel huge. Like the toughest thing is you'll notice right from the start, reachability is kind of tough. You can't reach all 4 corners of this phone with one hand.
Yeah, I know I won't.
The Mini, for example. But other than that,
it is the Mini. Thank you, William.
Also, side note, this is my first time using the gold iPhone, and
Thanks, William.
Sheesh. This is a shiny gold outside rail. The back of the phone actually isn't that gold. It's more kind of like an off-white sand color with the matte finish. And then the rings around the camera and the stainless steel sides are the really gold part.
Well, there you go, Sean.
But they're still going to collect fingerprints like crazy. Honestly, it's
Lonky
not
Games,
the color
what's
I
going
would
on,
pick,
man? Welcome.
But they don't have like
Congrats
a matte black
Pro
iPhone this year. So I guess I could just pick any color and then grab a D-brand skin, literally just for the side rails.
I haven't played it, Team I've just been watching
just
other
matte black
play
with the shiny sides, and all my complaints are solved. So I'll drop a link below if you want to do the same thing. Shout out to D-Brand for being a channel sponsor. But enough of that. What you're probably here for is this camera, right? The question is
is this new camera system
I'll
on the
check
12
that one
Pro
out. I've been
Max
watching 5 Up.
worth like spending
That's
the
what I've been
extra money
watching.
and getting it over the 12 or the 12 Pro?
Sure.
If you're a creator, if you're a pro. No. So first of all, okay, I just want to point out, it really is a physically larger camera module. Like the rounded circle that the cameras live on is bigger, and the camera rings and lenses themselves are all also bigger. And that's
going on,
the
Igor?
new hardware
How's it
inside,
going, man? Welcome
namely
to
the 47% larger main camera sensor that now has sensor shift stabilization instead of lens-based stabilization. And there's also a new 2.5x telephoto lens. So that's huge, literally. Like a physically larger sensor plus better stabilization just screams like way better light gathering ability. So I'd be looking for improvements, not just in regular everyday photos and normal situations, but especially in lower light when you need to maximize light gathering. So ideally you see better night mode performance.
What is with the weird zooming in and out?
Maybe even not having to kick into night mode as often because it's gathering so much light, and maybe even not having to hold the phone still for as long when you do have to kick into night mode. But I found none of these things to actually be true. Now, trust me, I really wanted to see a difference. Like this is the one with the actually new camera hardware. This is the first big jump for the iPhone in a little while with the cameras. With the bigger sensor, I was hoping maybe to see some more natural depth or some more of that bigger sensor look that photographers know to look for. And I didn't see much of that. To be honest, you could already get a solid amount of natural bokeh without portrait mode on plenty of smartphone cameras, including other iPhones. This one's no different. Still takes great photos and videos with smart HDR. Still does all the typical iPhone computational photography. All that's great. I'm just not seeing much of a difference versus the other new iPhone 12s. So at this point, I'm like, all right, maybe to see the difference, I just got to put it side by side. Like most people won't do that. And that's actually a telltale sign of a feature that probably regular people won't notice, is if you have to put it side by side with something else to even see it in the first place. But I want to see the difference. I'm testing.
I like doing that though. I like going through it and just seeing the difference. I don't know. I still think that's, especially as a tech like enthusiast, you know, reviewer, whatever you want to call me. I still think there's some worth in that. Gandek, what's going on, man? Fall Guys gave me ADCD EFG talking about pretty fun. I love you, Leo.
Testing them. I'm testing the Mini at the same time, so I'm going around with both the 12 Pro Max and the 12 Mini, taking photos side by side.
Tana,
and when I tell you I couldn't see much of a difference, I mean, seriously, you're seeing the results here for yourself. I did back-to-back photo testing in regular light.
I hear you, Tana. Welcome,
Tana.
Tana.
More here in lower light, where I was expecting to see the bigger sensor and better stabilization shine and show me a difference. And believe it or not, I just didn't. So the only really noticeable stuff I can point to between the Mini and the Pro Max seems to be slightly better edge sharpness in some of those wider landscape type shots. But in the dark, I didn't see any noticeably lower noise levels. I didn't see any shorter night mode stabilization times. I didn't see a...
I mean, this looks a little cleaner. I'm going to do testing. I don't care. I don't care what MQQQ says. I'm still going to test it out.
Stabilization times.
I mean, obviously.
I didn't see much of the better quality in low light shots I was hoping to. Now again,
and then obviously when we test it against the Pixel 5, I'm just curious to see how much different it's going to be. Unfortunately, I'm not going to have my 12 Pro to test versus the 12 Pro Max because I got to return the 12 Pro. If I can get my hands on a 12 Pro from someone who owns one, then I'll try to do some testing if somebody's going to let me actually use it, but we'll see.
Again, let's not forget, it is still really impressive photography in this low light and in regular light.
Hey, what's going on, Edgar? Yeah, I don't know.
Good
YouTube
the computational
sucks.
Photography in iPhones has gotten over the years.
Yeah,
more than anything bad about the Pro Max phone. By the way, it also doesn't fix any of the haloing, sort of glowing orbs you see in nighttime videography. They still show up pretty much anytime there's a point light in the scene in low light video. Something I noticed when I first started testing the 12s. So, all right, the main camera, I've tested it. It's physically different, yes, but the results are very difficult to see any differences with. I'm glad I tested it. But we can't forget there's also a second telephoto lens. There's a 2.5x instead of 2x. So my photographer friends out there, that's about a 65 millimeter equivalent instead of 52 millimeters.
What up, man?
It's not a dramatic difference, as you may have guessed. But yeah, it's right there now. Now there's a 2.5x button in the camera now. And the final maximum allowed zoom in camera is 12x instead of the usual 5 or 10x. Yeah, it didn't make a massive difference for me. Really, what I actually noticed more is getting locked into 2.5x or 1x for portrait mode shots, because regular iPhone 12 Pro does portrait mode at 1x and 2x. So this one punching in a little bit further, starting to get a little bit further away, but I still stick with 1x for portrait mode when I can. So yeah, I guess the story is Apple finally made a jump in hardware and nothing really happened. Not much happened. I mean, I was kind of hoping for a bigger jump in hardware, to be honest. Like, if you just pay attention to iPhones, you might think, oh, they finally made a 50% bigger sensor. That's a big deal. But if you look at the rest of the world around the iPhone, there's a lot of crazy hardware stuff going on. There's 50, 60, 100 megapixel sensors.
Yeah, okay, but that's still bullshit too. That doesn't change the difference. I mean, I get what he's saying, and I get that, and like I'm not denying what QQMBD is saying, but like I don't know. I watch a lot of, well, I don't watch a lot of these. The only time I watch these videos is when I watch it with you guys. But for me, I mean, to be fair, right? This 12 Pro that I have here is getting similar shots versus my 4A versus this $350 phone versus this $1,000 phone. It's not that much of a difference. I mean, there's no ultra wide, whatever, no telephoto, but you guys know what I'm saying. I won't know until I test it out for myself and really see if I can spot a difference. I mean, when I've been testing the 12 Pro versus my Pixel 5, it doesn't seem like that much of a difference either. But we can say that about if I did a Pixel 3 versus Pixel 5 test right now, I'm sure it wouldn't be that huge of a jump either, right? And I'm not trying to say this to discredit the 12 Pro or the 12 Pro Max. I think we all know these are expensive ass phones, and the 12 Pro Max is a big ass phone that I'd rather not have, but I'm also trying to justify me spending $1,100 to test out this goddamn phone and its camera and if it's worth it or not. And it probably isn't, but I can say that about that's why I keep talking about how the Pixel 4a for me feels like the phone of the year, because would I be wrong? Would I be wrong if I told you that this phone is worth $350? I feel like I can't say that about any other phone. Is this phone worth $800? No. Is this phone worth $700? No. Is this phone worth $1,300? No, it isn't. Is this phone worth $1,000? No, they're not. They're not. Okay. Hi, everybody. I know we're kind of like going back and forth with stuff here. That's his name, AJ, right? What's going on, AJ? Welcome. You want to sit on my... You can, man. Feel free whenever you come to Chicago. Okay, so let me see here. Marquez Monster Banana Hands. Put iMessage on that Pixel and I'll go buy. Yeah, there you go. All right. So I have two other videos. This one I know I'm going to have a hard time going over because lately it seems like anytime I watch anything from The Verge, it really does feel like it also feels like a commercial. Like, but I don't know. Maybe this one's going to be different. We'll see.
That's a big phone. This is the iPhone 12 Pro Max. It is one of 4 iPhone 12 models this year, and it is the biggest iPhone ever made. And it comes with big ambitions. It has the largest screen ever on an iPhone. It has the biggest camera sensor of any iPhone, including the other iPhone 12s. It has a 5G radio. It's got a bigger battery. This is the most iPhone you can get, and it's priced to match. It starts at $1099 with 128 gigs of storage, and it goes up to $1399 for 512 gigs of storage with no carrier discounts like the regular iPhone 12.
It just sounds like he's reading off a tech sheet, and it just doesn't seem genuine. Like he doesn't really care. I mean, I don't know.
It is a lot of phone. It might be too much phone.
All this useless, like
too big. The measurements don't tell the whole story. By the numbers, it's just a little bit bigger than the 11 Pro Max, but the new design with flat sides makes it feel much bigger than it is.
Okay.
Bigger. So what I'm saying is that it's big, even if you're a big phone person.
That's one thing that I've been saying is the 12 Pro, even though it's the same size as the 11 Pro, right? Well, a little bigger. The 12 Pro is a heavier phone that's harder to pick up because it just doesn't have the same rounded corners as the 11
find a
Pro.
way to safely see the 12 Pro Max's size in person before making a call. All that size allows for the biggest feature difference between the 12 Pro Max
Jay Kelly,
and
I
the
think
rest of
he
the iPhone
owns the
12
Verge.
the camera
owns
system.
the Verge.
The basics are the same as the 12 Pro. 3 lenses, a wide, an ultra wide, and a tele with a LiDAR sensor that enables portrait photos.
It is a
in
commercial
night
for sure. What's
the
going on,
ultra wide
Salwan?
sensor is the same as the 12 and 12
Oh, what am I
Pro,
missing
so I
here?
won't spend a lot of time on it, except to say that it's useful and fun to have an ultra wide camera. It's a noticeable improvement over the ultra wide on the 11 Pro, but it still takes basically medium quality photos compared to the main.
I agree
camera.
with that.
It's that main
The 12
camera
Pro
and the
ultra wide
telephoto
is like
are
a medium
very different
average
on the 12 Pro Max. The
camera
wide has
sensor.
the same f1.6 lens as the 12 and 12 Pro, but it also has a much larger physical sensor that can capture more light with less noise. The wide camera is also stabilized differently than the other 12s, which stabilize the lens.
Yeah,
The iPhone 12
exactly.
Pro Max uses something called sensor shift stabilization, which moves the sensor itself around to reduce vibration and thus blur.
Yeah, AJ, I
You realize
totally
a
hear
huge
you,
difference in most cases,
totally hear you.
but sensor shift works a little better for things like taking photos out of a moving car. The bigger sensor also has an impressive maximum ISO, which is a measure of light sensitivity. The 12 Pro Max has a top ISO of 7,616. All of this means that the wide camera on the iPhone 12 Pro Max is one of the most confident smartphone cameras I've ever used. It can take great photos in a huge variety of situations. But whether you'll get any value out of it all depends on light. In sunlight and other bright situations, photos from the 12 Pro Max and the 12 Pro look identical to me. And honestly, we're at the point where photos from all the major flagships are starting to look the same. Yes.
So this is what we're talking about, right? This is where you have to figure out the value for your money. Is it worth it spending that much money on these phones when all of these look pretty much similar? Is it worth it? And that answer is going to be subjective for everybody else, because your priorities might not just be the camera. It might be, the battery. It might be whatever else you use phones for. This one's really blue. What phone is this? Oh, it's a Note 20. That's why. Okay.
There are differences. The Pixel 5 is a little more contrasty. The iPhone still boosts shadows the most aggressively, and the Note 20 does some weird things with reds and yellows. But when any of these cameras gets enough light, they produce photos that are more alike than different. It's when the light starts to get dimmer that the 12 Pro Max really starts to stand out.
Okay, so this is something that I have been talking about I've been saying this for a long time. I think most phones, even $150 phones, do pretty good during the day. You get good day shots no matter what. I think at this point, this is kind of why I Pixel Peep. Doesn't mean that you have to or whatever, but I just need to know what the difference is. And I think really the differentiator for a lot of phones now is how good are they at night? How good do they take night shots? How good is audio? How good is video stabilization? That's why I do a lot of those video camera comparisons as well, to give you guys an idea of how they work. And then for me, it helps me too, because I do a lot of recording on my phones when I do other shit from my other channel or whatever. It's just nice to know what camera phone I should be using for a lot of my content creation or recording shit. All right.
Take this photo I took at sunset. Well, the phones did a good job, but the 12 Pro Max has far less noise, better.
Wow, I hate the way he's talking. Why does it sound like he just did this like in his bathroom? This one's really noisy. What did he say now?
Colors and more detail. In this shot under slightly darker conditions, most of the phones automatically shifted to night mode, where they take multiple long exposures and merge them.
But this one, oh, this is the wide. No, wide meaning just the regular main shooter, right? So this didn't even use night mode, but the Pro did. This looks actually more natural than this. This looks a little saturated here. Okay,
together. But the 12 Pro Max's bigger sensor with its higher maximum ISO means it did not automatically go into night mode.
I can't help it. I like to pixel peep. I do.
You can see that details are crisper, there's less blur, and the photo is overall more true to life. And when the 12 Pro Max does go into night mode, it does it for shorter exposures than the 12 Pro. In situations where the 12 Pro would take a 3-second exposure, the 12 Pro Max only needed a 1-second shot.
Okay, but this isn't really that much of a, but yeah, no, I mean, I know, we're pixel peeping, but
resulting in a sharper photo. The LiDAR sensor means you can shoot portraits in night mode using the wide camera, which, combined with that better low light performance, means that night mode portraits are better and more detailed on the 12 Pro Max than the 12 Pro and Pixel 5. Nice. Look, I'm saying photos in bright light are a wash between the flagships, but when it comes to low light, it feels like no contest. The iPhone 12 Pro Max consistently took better, more detailed, and less noisy photos than the Pixel 5 and Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra. Look at how muddy the Pixel 5 looks in this sunset photo compared to the Pro Max. And look how over-processed the Note 20 looks in this comparison. Apple has definitely moved ahead of the pack here. The telephoto camera...
I mean, to me, yeah, I know, guys. Like most people aren't going to tell these differences. They're not. But I guess in the same respect, if you want to argue that point, why do you care? Just use your old ass phone. I don't know. Okay, so let me see here. Does the iPhone still only do portrait? No, I think it does portrait mode. I think it does portrait mode with inanimate objects as well. Unless you're a photographer, how often are you out at night taking pictures? If it's all the time, get a real camera. I mean, like, so that's the thing, though. And like, I've had this argument with Leo because Leo loves to get under my skin. Is Leo still here? Hey, Deepak, what's going on, man? Welcome to the stream. Leo likes to get under my skin about this because for me, I still use the camera at night pretty often, but I do carry my phone and take a lot of pictures. But that's also because like I just like to take pictures in general. I like to take video. But you're right. For most people, it's not going to matter. In the same sense, why can't I just tell everyone to buy a Pixel 4a then? I don't know. Again, I don't know how to, like, the reason that I make these camera comparisons is for this exact reason, to just see how good camera phones have gotten to these days. That's really what it comes down to for a lot of this stuff.
Is less straightforward to talk about. It is effectively the same sensor as the 12 Pro, but with a longer 2.5x zoom and a less bright f2.2 lens instead of the 2x f2.0 lens on the regular 12 Pro. So a longer zoom that can pick up less light. It's a trade-off, but I think it works out. I really like having that tighter zoom and I wanted to use it more, but it performs slightly worse.
So even in the main shots, I don't think it is. I haven't done a proper comparison and I really should, but I will tell you what it's a monster in, and that's its telephoto. Like, it's ridiculously good. And I'm looking forward to getting this 12 Pro Max to see how good the zoom is for the phone. That'll be a good camera comparison, actually. That'll be a good one. Okay. Where am I at here? I'm
lower light than the 12
Stop
Pro.
paying attention.
That said, I think it still has the upper hand compared to the Note 20 Ultra and Pixel 5. Apple's Smart HDR3 is really good this year, with excellent noise reduction and vibrant colors that are still accurate. I'm really intrigued by Apple's new ProRAW format that offers the editing flexibility of raw images.
So I don't really care about that right now.
Watch the full res files, including Dolby Vision, if you have an iPhone. At night, you might see a little more detail and less noise in shadows compared to the 12 Pro, and There's the tiniest bit more detail in bright light, but you have to go looking for it. We already thought the 12 Pro was ahead of the pack in terms of video, and the 12 Pro Max is maybe a tiny bit better, but the improvement is not nearly as dramatic as it is in still photos. Two things haven't changed. I did a deep dive on Dolby Vision in our 12 Pro review, and all that promise is there, as are all the compatibility challenges, so go watch that video for more. And there is still a lot of lens flare going on. Dots for days. All in all, the combination of the larger sensor, faster lens, improved stabilization, LiDAR, and processing power means that the iPhone 12 Pro Max has the best smartphone camera I've ever used. It produces terrific, colorful photos with excellent detail in lighting situations where other phones start to struggle. I'm impressed.
Okay, we can stop there, right? I guess my question is, where do we go from here? If it takes a big ass phone to get that kind of quality, which is very minimal, right? What do we call that again? Diminishing point of, what is it? You guys know what I'm talking about. The more money you spend, you get a little bit of benefit, but that's about it. When did we hit our peak? That's the thing. And are we going to actually see anything better in terms of quality from here on out? Yeah, diminishing returns. That's right. Thank you, Ed. Yes, thank you, William. Thank you, guys. Brian. Oh, Brian with the $1 super chat. Brian, thank you, man. Thank you for the support as always. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Thank you. Got to get back to work. Enjoy the stream. Thanks for stopping by, Brian. Thanks for the support as always, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you, guys. I see everyone with diminishing returns. Yeah, Deepak, we were just watching that too. I love how everyone has new names for MQ, FQQ. Pixel is our peak and goal, which is weird because does that mean that I should be hard on Pixel at this point, or is that the best we're going to get? Have we really hit a peak when it comes to photo quality? I don't know. Yeah, Damon's asking, was the Pixel 3 S10 the peak? It makes for an interesting conversation because I can keep making these camera comparisons and I can keep pointing shit out. But if I compare it with a 3-4-year-old phone, most people don't even really see much of a difference. Most people don't even know what to spot for, you know? I agree though, Alir. They do need to step it up. They do. But I guess how much more can we get out of these like camera phones? I still think we have room for improvement. I really do. Hi, Mr. Z. How's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you. Ernie says, I think these companies don't want to throw all their eggs in one basket and keep spreading them out slow. Well, yeah, that's obviously a profit thing there. Apple's really good at that. They're great at that. That's why like I'm finding myself buying a 12 Pro Max when I don't really want one. I feel like they could have put all that tech in the 12 Pro and not the 12 Pro Max. That is disappointing. Sean says Google's going to surpass Apple next year. They're concentrating on mid-range phones this year. Let's hope so. I really want to see something big come out from Google for sure. Baron of Gray Matter with a $5 super chat. Baron, thank you, man. Thank you, Ed. Appreciate it, man. I think we hit our peak when phones started costing more than excellent cameras like Ricoh GR and Fujifilm. That's a great point. I can't believe I've spent so much money on phones year over year. I do it for you guys. I do it for me. I like testing them out. I mean, I also do it for the channel, but like, let's be real. This channel is dead. Baron of Gray Matter, thank you for the support, man. Thank you as always. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Leo says most people don't have a clue about cameras or styles. No clue. You're right. Damon says iterative releases are what's hot. Consoles are doing the same thing. I can see that as well. That makes a lot of sense. It really does. Man, maybe the big brain move was to not buy a phone in 2020 or not buy a 2020 phone. Maybe that's what the big brain move was. I wish I could. Can I show you this? I was stacking my I made like I made a tower of my phone boxes. I have other phone boxes. I was just like, oh, can I stack these up? That's gonna fall actually. So I need to be careful and not do that. Google fell off this year. Yeah, I hear you, Will. Aditya, how's it going, man? Google can only go so far with software. At some point, physics comes into play and they'll have to change sensors. That's what I'm hoping for, Aditya, for sure. I'm definitely waiting for that. Beginning a new cycle of optimizing software for a new sensor. I'm waiting. I thought they were maybe they'll do it for the Pixel 6. Maybe. Javi with $1 super chat. Javi, what's going on, man? Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you stopping by. Nice to have you, man. Welcome. Thank you for the support as always. Thank you, Javi. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ed. I appreciate it, man. Sean says Google's been using the same sensor since the Pixel 2. Right. When they upgrade their physical sensor, we'll probably see a difference. Maybe the Pixel 6, maybe. Leo says, no regrets, bro. Make a choice, live with the consequences, keep it moving. Tech is fun. Pixel will go next level next year. Thank you, Leo. Thank you for saying that. Makes me feel better too. But I hear you, man. I hear you. I think the Pixel 4 XL is the phone of the year for 2019 and 2020. I was thinking it, so I said it, especially if you can find it for 4 or 5. So like if you can get it for that price, that's great. Yeah. I mean, you guys know what my phone of the year was for 2019, but I hear you, man. I hear you. AJ says maybe companies will start selling pro level cameras with bigger sensors as an accessory to phones, plug in and boom. That would be great. I'd love to see that, but who knows what the future is going to lie for a lot of these phones. So before we kind of there's this other video. I forgot about this guy. I've watched some of his videos and I find him very entertaining. I think he's a camera guy. I think his name is Potato Jet. Have you guys ever heard of this guy, Potato Jet? And he made this video called iPhone 12 Pro Max, my favorite camera phone for video yet. So like, I haven't watched this. I want to see why he thinks so. He has a pretty good perspective from what I've seen before. So we're going to spend some time and watch this real quick.
All right, so
I haven't
today
seen
we're
it.
testing out the new iPhone 12 Pro Max. I'm also trying to learn how to surf. I'm exhausted. It's not easy. It looks really fun and cool. You know, the surfers with the hair right in. Nothing like that. I just got tumbled. I got eaten alive by these waves. Is the new iPhone waterproof?
I don't know.
Is it?
I have one.
Okay, we'll find out. This camera's supposed to be really awesome.
Is he using the
Getting
front
shots, even though we kinda
facing
lost
right
the
now?
light, the low light should be pretty decent on here. So let's give it a shot.
I'm having the time of my life. Everything's going all right.
I mean, it looks really soft right now.
This is how it feels when you living that good life.
So phone is still working, which is good news. It would have been really awkward to have to tell Apple I drowned their brand new phone. Now, technically, it's not waterproof. It's IP68 water resistance. And I guess that means you can go down to max 6 meters for up to 30 minutes. Probably wouldn't recommend it if you could avoid it, though. The speaker sounded funny for a little while afterwards. And also when I plugged it in, it says it detects moisture, so it wouldn't charge via cable. But let's get into talking about the cameras, because for me personally, when it comes to phones, all I really care about is how good are these cameras. Now let's go ahead and switch
That's
over
like
to
me.
the
I'm the
iPhone
same
camera
way.
now. Now I am still using the audio out of this microphone right here. But let's see how's this image looking.
That
And I wanna
video-
test out
that
all the
video
different
does look pretty
cameras
good,
on here
though.
while I tell you about our sponsor, Storybox.
Okay, I don't need to hear
Storybox
you
is
tell
the
me about
go-to
a
place
sponsor.
to go find
I'm sorry.
royalty-free
Okay.
stock assets. What's in the description. Thanks again, Storybox, for sponsoring this video. All right, what do you guys think of the footage out of this iPhone 12 Pro Max?
My first impressions was that it looks really good.
It does look
here's the thing,
good.
The previous iPhones, the 11 and the 10, they all look really good as well. So what are we really getting out of this new upgrade?
It's
of all, I
so
was happy to
funny
see
because
that
it's
all
just the
cameras
same
are
consensus,
12
really.
megapixels. Not higher, not 24, not 50, nothing crazy like that. I like that they're all 12 megapixels. Remember, you don't always want more megapixels. You want the right amount. The spec that I care more about is right here, the 1.7
Pixel stands for
I heard the same way.
micrometer or micron. The bigger
Micron,
each pixel
right.
is, the more light the photo site can gather, giving you a overall cleaner, more accurate pixel. So is 1.7 microns big? Well, for a phone, yes, because the previous iPhone was 1.4, and there's a lot of phones out there that are less than 1. But it's not going to be as big as a professional cinema camera. Like this Arri Alexa is 8.25 microns per pixel. So we want bigger pixels, but the trade-off is that they take up more space. So let's say this is our sensor. The bigger each pixel is,
All right.
the less we can fit in
Like,
here. So it's kind of
we
this
know this
balancing
well.
act, right? Of having the right amount of pixels at the right size. If you want combination right there, that should give us better low light performance as well as a shallower depth of
I
field.
mean, there
That
you
should
can
give us
already.
better low light performance. An f1.8, faster lenses, bigger sensor. Oh, such a good combination right there. That should give us better low light performance as well
Like, it's super noisy over here.
as a shallower depth of field. In other words, giving us that blurrier background that we get out of the more professional cameras. We tend to love shallow depth of field when it's in focus. Keyword, when it's in focus. If it's out of focus, then it's actually going to ruin the shot. So we don't want that. The autofocus has to be on top of it. Now, this is where the new LiDAR sensor comes into place. And this is actually genius. The LiDAR knows exactly how far the camera is from the subject, relays that information over to the camera in both photo and video mode. So not only is the autofocus solid, it actually doesn't require light to get accurate autofocus. That's one thing I noticed in the older generations. So as soon as it starts getting dark, you're going to drift in and out of focus.
That is a
big
big difference in low light here, for sure. I mean, this is also completely out of focus.
new LiDAR system, it stayed perfectly locked on. Really impressive stuff here. But let's also look at the telephoto lens. We have a 2.5x zoom, which is definitely something I prefer over the previous just standard 2x zoom. Felt like that was just kind of a waste of a lens. I mean, sure, it was a little bit tighter, but it wasn't that much tighter. So I think this little extra reach is going to be better and more useful. Honestly, I wouldn't even mind if it went a little bit tighter. Right now, it's about a 65 mil equivalent. I think it'd be cool to have something closer to 85. But hey, again, the 65, definitely an improvement over the previous ones. Anyways, I'm being harassed by the dogs to take them outside. So let's go for a little walk.
Wow, when the lighting's good, this phone just makes everything look so nice. I gotta give it to Apple for having really rich, vibrant colors. Just no editing required. It just looks so good. Now, we all love golden hour, right? I mean, how could you not? Pretty much any camera looks beautiful in golden hour because we have plenty of light. It's colorful, it's beautiful. But one of my favorite times to shoot is blue hour, just a little bit after the sun has set. But one of the beauties of having this larger sensor is that it's able to get cleaner images even when we don't have as much light. So during blue hour, you'll definitely
I know
notice
what this
how
is like
clean the
because when
camera
that
looks
sun is like
because of that
already
bigger
down, but you
sensor.
still
The
get a little
ultra-wide
light.
angle isn't as good in low light. So as long as you're filming with a lot of light, it still looks good. But as soon as we tilt down, you can see that there's a lot
Yeah, that's
more
pretty
grain
bad for
in
the
grass.
ultra wide.
Now, how about the 2.5x telephoto? It seems like it sits somewhere in the middle where it's better than the ultra wide angle, but just not quite as good as that wide angle lens. So if you're filming in a spot that isn't as well lit like blue hour and you want to get the cleanest image, definitely hop into that wide angle lens to utilize that larger sensor because it looks clean.
Now, of course, as soon as it becomes dark, we can really take advantage of that faster lens and those bigger pixels, giving us a cleaner image at night. You could really see how much more information the 12 is actually capturing when I bump them up. And also the 12 does record in 10-bit as well now. So we have the capability of recording more.
This keeps moving in and out of focus
with the file afterwards.
Now, one more thing that is new in here is the IBIS. So instead of the stabilization happening in the lens, it's happening by the sensor shifting around, or sensor shift. Now, I didn't really notice the stabilization being either better or worse than the previous.
Yeah, I haven't noticed much of a difference.
Optical image stabilization, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, the iPhone 11 Pro Max had really good image stabilization anyways. If I had to guess, I think they just moved that stabilization onto the sensor so that they could keep the lens more compact, because the bigger sensor usually means a bigger lens as well. And these are a little bit bigger than the 11 Pro Max, but not by much. So I'm thinking that since they made the aperture bigger and also the sensor larger, if they were to also put stabilization in that lens, it would have been just a little bit too big. But from a user standpoint, you know, I have this bigger
bigger sensor, faster lens, and I still get the same great stabilization. So I think that IBIS was great. But overall, I think this new camera system on here is probably my favorite that I've seen on a phone so far. It just feels very well balanced across the board. You know, Apple does a pretty good job about stepping up their game on every generation. I think if there's one thing that I would like to see on the next one is improving this front-facing display. I mean, I think people are using this more and more, especially people like me who's using it as a vlog camera. And, you know, let me go ahead and record on it. And again, like the picture on here is pretty good. Oh, hi, Carrie. How you doing over there? Carrie's being the producer. Actually, no, she's just being patient while I record myself for 30 minutes while she's freezing. And we all know that iPhones can get great picture as long as you have really good lighting. But sometimes you're stuck in places like this where the sun's already set. Sometimes like this, having a faster lens and a bigger sensor is really going to come help out, because not only does the phone now look good when there's good lighting, it also looks pretty good with bad lighting. I mean, that's really what gets me excited about this new hardware, is that more often you'll be able to just pull out your phone and get a pretty good looking shot. Even slow motion actually makes a pretty big difference, because when you're filming slow-mo, each frame only has a very small amount of time to collect the light. So having a sensor that can collect light faster and cleaner is definitely a big plus for slow-mo. Oh, and of course, this is a sponsored video, so we are doing a giveaway with the brand new DJI Mavic Mini 2. The things we're going to be able to do with this new LiDAR in here. You know, I was going to walk around the camera.
All right, I don't need to go through that. I haven't even tested any of that stuff, but so okay. I get it, everyone. I get it. There's a yes. We are talking about smartphone cameras, and yes, they're not the best in the world, but year over year, I still want to see some kind of improvement. It's still this guy isn't it? Why are you hating, Will? Why are you hating? I don't know. I like Potato Jet stuff, and I think he makes a very like honest opinion on it. It doesn't sound like it's scripted or anything. So why you gotta hate, Will? Yeah, Ted. Look at Ted. Love Potato Jet. He's a man of the cameraman. There you go. Ted, what's going on, man? Welcome. Yeah, I'm really liking the low light on the 12. And again, that's the one thing I talk about, is a lot of the main differences come down to low light. Is how well do they work at night? Because really during the day, a lot of them are pretty comparable. They're pretty comparable during the day for the most part. We can talk about that with 2-year-old phones, 3-year-old phones. A lot of them are still going to be very similar. Yeah, I mean, there were obvious differences there. Yeah, not in the night for sure. Lucas, what's going on? I'm currently on the Xiaomi Mi 10 Ultra and iPhone 12 Pro Max. You can kiss my ass. It's too expensive with a low price to value ratio. Typical Apple. They make smartphones for $400, and so that's why they're a $1 trillion company. Lucas, nice to see you, man. It's been a minute. Nice to see you, man. Yeah, who knows? I'm not sure, Deepak. Maybe he did. I don't know if he did or if he didn't. No idea. Excuse me. That's not COVID. I promise you. The 12 is good for your creepy. They're not that creepy. Potato Jet and Armando I've heard of Armando. I think I've heard of that name. I haven't. It's been a minute though. But I remember I used to watch some of Potato Jet stuff, and I was like, yeah, like he has a pretty straight, like decent, genuine review on at least from what I've seen. Neil says you also have to ask yourself if you even take pictures at night or video at night, and that's a fair enough point. So like for me, I do. Leo and I have thought about this, but it's like, well, COVID is happening right now, but like if you're indoors at a bar or at a restaurant and you want to take video of something or a picture of something, it's a lot of those places are really, really dim lit, and you don't want to use I don't like using flash. I think I never use flash even on my DSLR or anything. Anyway, I still like, for me, I don't mess with a lot of manual stuff on my phones. That's not what I use my smartphones for, or my camera phones. I like to have a camera phone that I can just point and shoot. That's what signifies a good camera phone. because if I want to like mess with manual settings, I have my DSLR for that. Obviously, you know, it's going to depend on the person, but for the most part, when I have my camera phone on me, I'm usually just pointing and shooting. I don't spend too much time trying to manually get everything right, because that's not what I bought my smartphone for, at least for me. Tell him, Neil. Leo, why are you still here? Go away. Go away. Sean says, I got no problem with people raving about smartphone camera improvements, just the iPhone. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right, Sean. I mean, again, think about it. Think about the price of the phone. Think about everything they've said about the phone. And like, yeah, for the most part, you're going to see similar shots year over year for a lot of these things. I love nighttime photography. I mess around with the manual controls and don't rely on auto mode. There you go. There you go. So it's different for everyone. I do love nighttime photography though. I love taking shots at night. You guys know that. You've seen my night shots. I love just taking neon signs and just, I don't know, there's something about it. But I do enjoy that. My God, the 12 Pro Max is 1,700 Canadian. I was curious. That's without Apple Care. It's crazy. Sim. See? The Woo knows what I'm talking about. When you need to take shots at night and the opportunity arises, right, the Woo? That's what happens. That's what happens. Okay. Where am I at here? That actually might wrap it up for today. It is 3:25 and the sun is still out for another hour and a half and it's 75 out. So I think I'm going to spend some time outside, but I do want to thank everybody for stopping by today. Appreciate you guys for coming by. Tomorrow we will go over Pixel 4a and the Pixel 5. I did some photo testing. Whatever. You guys know what I'm saying. We're going to go over that tomorrow. And then whatever else news is coming around. If you guys want to drop like a link for a news article or whatever, feel free to hit me up on Twitter at Phone Jerome. You can send stuff there. And if it's interesting enough, we'll go through it. But again, I appreciate you guys stopping by. Appreciate all the super chats. If you haven't had a chance, please hit that thumbs up button. Even though YouTube is demonetizing me and not showing me around, it still seems like we're getting through to some people. So I appreciate it. But that's it, guys. Thank you so much for joining today. I know we just watch a lot of videos, but you know, we shared some laughs, some commentary, fought with Leo for a bit, but come back tomorrow, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. We'll do it all over again. Have a good one, guys. Bye. Wait, where's my button? Oh, here we go. Bye.